Hey, 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 saints and ain'ts. This is your girl, Dr. J. And you know I have something to say. I want to discuss Self Made, the story inspired by the life of Madam C.J. Walker. Come on in the room. I have notes here, lots of notes. The Netflix show Self Made. So let me just say, if you haven't seen the film, you probably want to close out this video and go watch the film on Netflix, the series. I think it's a 4-part series on Netflix. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Lexi. Thank you all for joining us. I definitely want you all to comment, talk to me, let me know that you're in the room. If you have any questions, comments, I don't have the answer to everything. Like if I have some questions, I need you all to help me out and write them down in the comments below. So you all can start by letting me know if you've seen the series Self-Made, the story inspired by Madam C.J. Walker. And the key word is inspired. It wasn't her actual life story, but it was inspired. That's why it was some, I don't want to say lies. Well, I guess you can say lies in the film. And I have a lot of notes here. I've watched like 3 or 4 other videos. I've read articles. I spent the last couple of days just doing research to find out what was fictional, what was real. Okay. So just to tell you a little bit about Madam C.J. Walker, she was born Sarah Breedlove, December 23rd, 1867 in Delta, Louisiana. The series starts off where Madam C.J. Walker is selling products. And she apparently took some of, is her name Addie's products, and to see if she could sell them, and she sold all of them. And when she had an encounter with Addie and told her that she sold her products, Addie was upset that she and accused her of stealing from her instead of being happy that she sold the products. That's right, Bernard. Entertainment versus educational. And like I said before, think about it, you all. Hollywood has been doing this since the beginning. How many of you all seen the story of Moses, Jesus, the 10 Commandments, where all the characters were white? And if you know the Bible, none of those people were white. So Hollywood has been changing characters. Hollywood has been telling stories from their viewpoint and making it entertaining. And so when Addie rejected her, Madam C.J. Walker decided to go out on her own. Now, that part of the series, I'm not sure how truthful it is. And if you all know, definitely comment and let us know. I didn't do research on Addie. I heard that they changed her name for this film. Her granddaughter wrote a book, and the title of the book was based off of On Her Own Ground, The Life and Times of Madam C.J. Walker. And her great-great-granddaughter wrote this book. I was trying to find the New York Times article that they kept mentioning. Who was that? W.E.B. Du Bois told her that he read about her in New York Times, as well as the board. When she went to do her presentation, they told her they read about her in New York Times. So they already knew who she was. So in this 4 different chapters, chapter 1, the fight of the century, chapter 2, bootstraps, chapter 3, the Walker Girl, chapter 4, a credit to the race. So in chapter 1, again, make sure you all tell me what you like about each series. It started, and I had to go back and watch it again to make notes to do this video. I missed when they show her first husband abusing her, and he left her and told her she looked like a mangy dog because her hair was falling out, and that's when she decided to use those products, and it actually changed her. Um, Another thing that I got from this part of the film, that when he mocked her and Addie came and knocked on her door and changed her life, and it liberated her, because she was self-conscious about her hair. Um, what else happened in the first chapter, you guys? Um, I have here, I think this happened in the second chapter when she went to the Undertaker. He was supposed to be one of the richest black men in town, to try to get him to, um, I guess, support her in her business, and he tried to rape her. Was that the character, the old gentleman? I forgot his name. If y'all know the name, drop down in the comments and let me know his name. Was that CJ's father that told her not to tell CJ that he tried to rape her? What you all think about that? Should she have told CJ, or you think that she did the right thing by not telling CJ what happened when she went to the funeral home? um, so she goes to see Booker T. Washington. What are your thoughts about when she get ready to go see Booker T and the encounter that they have? How he talked down to her, and he really wasn't interested in hearing what she has to say. But I want to know. I rewatched when CJ told her that Booker T was coming to dinner. Like, why did he lie like that? I mean, he flat out lied and told her that Booker T Washington said that he wanted a home cooked meal. And then when he never showed up, she was like, exactly, tell me what was said. And then that's when it came out that he pulled a gun on him, and she knew that he wasn't coming. So that was crazy that he actually lied about Booker T coming to their house. um, what do y'all think about Sweetness? Sweetness was the guy, the numbers man. He didn't have the right numbers down. He had them all in his head. And when the lawyer when Ransom went to him and told him he wanted to play the numbers, and then his number so happened to hit. And do you think that Sweetness was just trying to get out of his lifestyle? He wanted to come up as well? Or do you think, I was talking to a friend and they were saying they liked the way that he didn't blow up her stuff. But he could have put up saying that she emasculated her husband. What do you all think? When I first watched, I thought, oh, he was very supportive, especially during that time, but when I watched it again, especially like towards the end when his father did plant those thoughts in his head. And then towards the end when they had that encounter, I think they was at the hotel room when he told her, "You broke me." And I just thought that was interesting. During Booker T. Washington's speech, I like how he mentioned the gains that were made during Reconstruction with the election of black senators and other elected officials. Let's see. Let me just address some of the things that were some of the biggest lies in there. Now, I'm not sure if her daughter was with women or not, but she did marry again. So that was one of the things that was inaccurate in the film. She did marry again. Let's see what else. She did not steal the lady's formula. In fact, in the book, it mentioned the formula. And it says that the formula was made up of coconut oil, beeswax, copper sulfate, sulfur, and vanilla extract perfume to make the sulfur not be so loud. And that was a formula that was used for years. So she did not steal her formula. Any other lies that you all pointed out in the film? I'm trying to see, was there anything else? Pause, you become the righteous, upright, praying mother. I'm so proud of you. So what? I want to celebrate you. Well, thank you, Robert Earl. God bless you. Add me back. Love new page. Y'all, let's talk about the film. Give me feedback on the film. So, what I liked in the film, you guys, and this just really goes to show you how powerful dreams are. From the beginning, from chapter 1 to chapter 4, she always quoted John Rockefeller. She always quoted Rockefeller. And at the end of the film, to see her finally meet her neighbor, that was so powerful. That was so powerful. We are talking about Madam C.J. Walker, Self-Made. It's on Netflix. Please go watch it. You know, I heard mixed reviews about the film. I really liked it. I thought it was very entertaining. I listened to some reviews. They did not like Tiffany Haddish in the film. What are your thoughts about Tiffany Haddish? Did she do a good job? Tiffany Haddish, let me roll up and read something. She really did use the foundation of formula from what she learned from, is it PROR? Okay. I have yet to watch the final chapter, but we started watching it as a family. The hubs thought it was extremely emasculating to men in a lot of ways. He left in the middle of chapter 2. A couple of guys were saying that. I just thought he was supportive. Because listen, it's all about communication. You know, the father kept mentioning how Sarah kept saying, my business, my business. Well, it was her business. And if the husband wanted it to be their business, he should have communicated that to her. Like a lot of things could be solved with communication. Open up your mouth. He never would open up his mouth and say anything besides, about the ad and the Walker girl until he finally got his own Walker girl. When she went to New York and came back, and that joker was in the bed with Dora, her top salesman, man. She said, CJ, where your shoes at? My thing is, why the hell did he come out? Why didn't you just stay hidden? Like, you big dummy. And I don't know if that part was true in the film as well, but it was definitely entertaining. Don't you think, Anicia said, don't you think it's a lesson to learn the wealth doesn't mean health? Of course. And we learn it now, what's going on. We need to focus on our health. That's right. That's right. She turned a good man into paper chaser. He always kept saying that he couldn't compete with the business. Listen, you got to have, in order to, be successful like that, you have to make some sacrifices. But let me tell you what I did learn about Madam C.J. Walker, and we can go back to the series. Did you all know that she lived in Vicksburg? By show of hands, you can comment down below if you knew that she lived in Vicksburg. So before she moved to St. Louis and Indianapolis, she moved to Vicksburg with her sister. And her sister's husband was abusive, and that was one of the reasons why she got married early, because she wanted to leave her sister home. And so she moved to Vicksburg, and then she moved to St. Louis. Then she moved to Indianapolis, and then she moved to New York. The priest said, I feel like Madam C.J. Walker owed the other lady some coins. She did not steal her formula. I just went over that so you can watch the video back and it'll explain what happened. She did not steal her formula. That was just for entertainment purposes only. And the formula was already widely used. I think they could have had a powerful partnership if he would have just let other people, his father, get in his head. Like it takes teamwork to definitely make it out here. Yeah, some of the best lines in the movie. Before I get to telling you more about Madam CJ, some of the best lines in the movie was never go back to what broke you. Baby, when I say she preached a word when she said that, never go back to what broke you. And baby, she did not go back. That's one thing I admire about her. She was strong-minded. She knew what she wanted. The other thing that I like is when they was going to the NAACP meeting, and was it the NAACP meeting when she was going to meet Booker? But she said, I didn't come here to make sandwiches. I came here to do business. Baby, they was trying to put all the women in the kitchen, and she was the only woman that was sitting out there. And the fact, what is Lydia, what is her husband name? The one that was selling the secrets to Addie. Man, I could have kicked him in his throat. And then the first time she offered him money when he went there, he didn't take it. And then Sarah made him mad. And then he went back and asked her what she willing to pay. But that doggone daddy, baby, that daddy knew everything. He knew everybody's business. He knew what was going on. He paid attention. Sean, you can come over here and put a battery in my smoke detector, because guess what? If not, it's going to keep on beeping. Leave me alone. And talk about the film. Stay focused. We're in class. Stay focused. I got so many notes on here. Of course, another thing that I learned about Madam C.J. Walker that was very interesting, especially for her to do what she did. Both of her parents were former slaves. They both died in 1874 of the yellow fever epidemic. Kind of sort of like what's going on now. And so I thought that was interesting. They both died the same year. In the book, On Her Own Ground, her great-great-granddaughter said that when she died, she wasn't actually a millionaire. When she died, she was worth $600,000 to $700,000. But in today's time, that would make her a millionaire. Let's see. Some other things that was truthful in the movie. She was a former washerwoman. She did create a line of hair care products and skin products for Black women. She's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Another thing that I thought was interesting when she and CJ was arguing, and he was asking her, how big do you want to be? And she said, as big as Rockefeller. She kept calling Rockefeller's name, you guys, and she never let go of her dream. I just thought that was so amazing. Did y'all know she has a Black Heritage stamp name in her, and she's the third Black person to do so, along with Harriet Tubman was the first, and Jackie Robinson. That was the first two. Another thing that I thought was interesting, that Lilia and her mom, Madam C.J. Walker, both died of causes related to high blood pressure. And I just thought about that, even though you can be successful, it is stressful. And they allowed that stress to get the best of them. Lilia died at age 48, and Madam C.J. Walker died at age 51. It says in 1906, she married Charles Joseph Walker, C.J. Walker, and changed her name to Madam C.J. Walker. 2 years later, the Walkers moved to Pittsburgh, where Madam C.J. opened Lydia College, now a school of cosmetology. Then they moved to Indianapolis, where she built a factory. She moved to Harlem in 1916, and that's when they started building her house. I forgot the name of it. They gave her house a name. I guess I didn't write it down, but it is in Iverton, New York, Hudson, New York, and it's a riverfront mansion, and it is still standing. And I don't know if she left her mansion to the NAACP, but the NAACP acquired it, her home, and for 55 years it was a nursing home. And in 1993, Harold W. Dudley purchased the home, and he still lived there today. He was like, it's one of the best homes he ever lived in, and he liked the fact that it had so much history, and it used to belong to Madam C.J. Walker. Let's see what else. So her first husband's name was Moses McWilliams. I can't read my own writing. After she married him 3 years later, she gave birth to Lilia. Her first husband died in 1887 of unknown causes. Let's see what else. What did you all really like or didn't like in the series? Definitely comment below and let me know. John, that's her husband name, her daughter's husband. Man, I got on here, her daughter's husband is the worst. Just think about how low can you be? You sleeping in these people's house. I mean, you there with them every day, and you basically selling away her secrets, because Addie would have never known to go to the convention to get Booker T to endorse her if he hadn't told her. And so, baby, the man told her to be ready, that they could call her at any time. And so she was just on the edge of her seat. And when they started announcing, I don't even know the words that he used, but when Addie came right there, baby, Madam C.J. Walker was hot. You could tell. I would have been too. I bet she was like, she can't get rid of this lady. But competition is always good. A lot of people have the mindset, they start downing people when they try to figure out, or when they find out that someone's doing the same business as them. But think about it. Think about how many different cars you have. You got Lexus, BMW, Mercedes, Honda, and they all are successful. Think about how many burger places you have. You got McDonald's, Burger King, Five Guys, Shake, all these different restaurants, they still successful. So the other thing I want to talk about is the colorism that they talk about in the film. I watched the video, and they really made that big issue and say that a lot of black women were complaining about um, that being an issue throughout the film. Just think about the times that they were living in. It's an issue now, so you know it was a bigger issue back then. And she kind of, anybody know the saying that she said, if you white, you are right. If you brown, stick around. If you black, it seemed like it was a light skin versus dark skin issue. That was a huge issue for me. Yet on the other foot, it did highlight the lighter skinned people can catch those hands just like what? They and the lady Addie, and they changed her name. She wasn't even that light skinned. She was like a caramel, am I saying that right? Type skin complexion. She wasn't light skin like they had added portrayed in the film. What else? What did you all think about the film? What did you like about it? What did you didn't like about it? Did you think Tiffany Haddish did a good job? I watched several videos that they did not like Tiffany Haddish being in it. They were saying that she was herself, Tiffany Haddish. Oh, the other thing about her and this lady, I missed some of these things that they were showing us or wanting us to see about them building up their relationship. So when the girl first told that she was a photographer, she wanted to take a picture, and how she grabbed her hand, that was the first time she was not what? That was the first time that, they showed us them establishing a relationship. And then she came back, and when they was in that bed together, I knew something was going on. I mean, they were just too intimate, just laying there, but when she was singing, when Tiffany got her tail up there, was singing, and she was all off key, she looked at that girl the whole time, and her husband noticed it because he was looking like, what? I didn't catch that the first time I watched it. So I had to watch it again to catch how she was just standing and singing to this girl. And then when Madam C.J. Walker caught them kissing, she was going to lie to her mama about what was going on. And so I thought that was very interesting. But again, I'm not sure whether or not her daughter was with women or not, but she did marry again. She did have 2 other husbands after this guy. I like the fact that when she went to New York, when she met W.E.B. Du Bois, he knew who she was. She didn't need no introduction. And again, he told her, I read about you in the New York Times. And it was complete opposite of what Booker T, how Booker T treated her. And if I don't know if you all know the whole history about Booker T. Washington versus W.E.B. Du Bois, they had 2 different ideas on how Black people should move forward, in this new free society. Anissa said, Tiffany Haddish, I feel like I've met a lot of wealthy parents having kids that act just like that. Money or lack of that does not equal class or lack that. And they cast her for the role, so I'm thinking that she did what they wanted her to do. But when they was getting ready to move to Indianapolis, and she came up with this man, and she just went and got married all of a sudden. And she was like, I did what you told me to do. And her mama thought she was playing. She didn't actually think that she had gotten married. Any other comments or thoughts about the movies? Let me make sure that I did address everything. I got so many notes here, you guys. A page full of notes. So I really um, enjoyed the series. If you haven't seen it, go and watch the series. I stayed up the other morning watching the series. It was just that good. I couldn't go to sleep. Any other questions, thoughts, or comments, you guys, about Madam C.J. Walker, self-made? And the key word inspired. It wasn't her actual story. It was inspired by Madam C.J. Walker. What do you think about how they portrayed Booker T, Washington, and W.E.B.? Accurate? The boys call him disagreeable as. Uh, I mean, I guess I really have put too much thought into it. I guess, I just like that they was incorporated into the series. Um, I guess from what I gathered, Booker T was trying to act more than what he was or be something that he wasn't. That's what I got from Booker T. Booker T. Whereas W.E.B. Du Bois was just cool, and collected. Definitely watch all of the series, Kamari. It is definitely good. Um that house, man, that house was everything. Then when she had her convention at her home, that man had just told her she needs to rest. And when they came back in, she was like, I got an idea. Let's have a convention. She did not want to rest. She knew that her time was limited and she wanted um, to do all she could. And the point when she told her daughter, can't you see I'm dying? When she was asking her for an heir. And she ended up adopting the girl. What's the girl? What was I don't think I wrote the daughter. May. It was May something. I remember reading it. May something, you guys. What was the daughter name that she adopted? She was such a pretty girl with the long hair. That was the model. She ended up adopting her. Well, that's all I got, you guys. I thank you all for tuning in, watching my review of Self-Made, the story inspired. It was a good time piece, and it also shows you how we think the conflict that we're going through now, and the things that we encounter in life. You think that it's something new, man. It's nothing is new under the sun. I also read in the book that CJ was, what it says, he was a newspaper man and he was a charmer. So he was very, very sneaky salesman. And when they want to go out celebrating, that's when it started. So it shows them building up that relationship. What are your thoughts, you guys, about Self-Made, Madam C.J. Walker? Did you like it? Have you seen it? Do you plan on watching it? Is the colorism an issue for you all? Make sure you drop down in the comments and give me your feedback about this video. And I will try to do more videos for you all. Again, thanks for tuning in. If you don't have any questions or comments, I will talk to you later. Go watch Self-Made. It was so inspiring. It inspired me. I couldn't even go to sleep after I finished watching it. I was just so inspired by her tenacity. She would not give up, and she knew exactly what you wanted. I believe that he was jealous of her. Uh, but she had a good idea and it worked, and it put food on the table and it took care of them. And the fact that she had the idea for this factory, not only did she have a factory, she had a school, and they didn't mention the school in the series. And she had a theater, and it was, I don't know if I read this or if I saw it in blog or something, but they wouldn't let black people go to the theaters. It was only for white people. So she built her own theater. And oh, the lady video that I was looking at, she was saying that she was from Indianapolis and she remembered as a little girl going to Walker Theater. And so I just thought that was inspiring as well, that she really did a lot with her money. And she gave one of the largest donations to the NAACP, which was $5,000. So she was very involved. Oh, and she also was involved. She wanted to make anti-lynching. She wanted to make lynching a federal crime. Did I put the notes in there about her trying to meet with the president, but the president never responded? Yeah, in 19 did respond to her letter. So she never was invited to the White House, no matter how much money she had. In other comments, I'm about to go for real this time, you guys. I thank you all for tuning in. $5,000. That's right. She donated $5,000. And that was think about how much money that was back then. That was a lot of money. Oh, and also it said her granddaughter wrote in the book in 1908, she made $6,672, which was double of what she had made the following year. And that was in 1908. And so think about how much money that was back then. Yeah. So I really enjoyed the series. Definitely go watch it. It is very inspiring. Hey, I'm over here trying to mix me some beeswax and what else was in there? Coconut oil, and try to make me a product. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you, Anissa, for being interactive and giving me feedback. The rest of y'all are so quiet. Y'all just in here being nosy. You got to participate. That's what make it fun. So I'm going to come back. I don't know what my next video will be on, but I will definitely be back. Thank you all. Share.